Welcome to the Learner's Lounge. Today, we have with us Mrs. Aakriti Periwal, ma'am, the Academic Director of JPIS. Ma'am is a beacon of guidance and support for countless students embarking on their college journeys. Today, we have the privilege of hosting a dedicated intellectual counselor whose passion for empowering young minds has helped shape the dreams and aspirations of numerous individuals.
With a wealth of experience and a genuine commitment to student success, she has navigated the ever-evolving landscape of college admissions. Let us delve into the world of higher education with our esteemed college counselor, whose expertise and unwavering dedication make her an invaluable resource for students and parents. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us today. So, to start off...
My pleasure. Thank you, Dia, and thank you, Manvi, for inviting me to being a part of this episode of Learner's Lounge.
Thank you, ma'am. So to start off, could you please share some insights into the current trends and challenges in college admissions and how it has evolved over the years?
I think the entire landscape of college admissions is changing year by a lot of external, such as the pandemic, which changed the SAT, ACT trends. So now universities have begun understanding that it is possible to complete an admission cycle without seeing SAT test reports of a student, especially from curriculums like the IB. And we have more and more universities going test blind, test optional. That does also free up a lot of the students' time to actively engage in areas of their interest, their passion projects, and actually start committing to the subjects that they love so much. So whether it's delving deeper into artificial intelligence, whether it is working with biotechnology and skin grafting, we see students having more and more time outside school to actually engage with what they want to pursue in the future.
So as you said, the current trends are always changing. So can you please debunk some common misconceptions or myths about college application process that you often?
Okay, so my first and foremost myth that APs. Please, if you are in an international curricula and you are already giving tests, do not give the APs. Universities don't want to see multiple proof of concept. They would much rather that let's give our board examinations and our IB examinations with passion, with commitment, and use up the rest of the time to make a difference to the world we live in. Why not advantage somebody else's life using the are adept at physics? Giving a physics tuition to an underprivileged sector of the community is going to be more beneficial to our entire taking one more test to prove that proof of concept. If you want to do a subject which you're not studying, you can take online courses. You can sign up on courses. Taking that AP and submitting that score is not getting you that coveted Ivy League admission. I think that's one of the major myths that I want to debunk. The second one being that there is a formula. There is no formula. Please don't go on blogs and pick up, try to analyze that, okay, if they did an NGO plus a research paper plus they had this SAT score, that's what I need to do to get into the college of my dream. I think that's not true at all. To the university of your dreams, you have to be the best version of your. It's not about college being a trophy that you have to win and play. It's about being the place that you're actually going to engage in. You're going to discover yourself, your passions, you're going to explore, and that match has to be important. And I think that all admissions officers are fabulously seasoned at understanding that match, that fit. So if you are genuine to your interest, if you are honest to your passion, and you work hard with that diligence, you are going to make it to the place that is right. On these blogs and seeing the essay that worked, this essay got this child into 8 Ivy League colleges, and that gets the most YouTube views. That's not really going to help you get there. The third myth is one that, hey, I'm a CS applicant. So all my activities should be around the field of computer science. Or you know what? I'm applying for business management, and so everything needs to be centered around business. If we are looking at college applications, you're looking at a place that's going to fit your desires. And if the university is, that's where you should go. So if you are a business student who's equally interested in STEM, and go ahead. If but who also finds time to read about Alexander the Great, that's fab. Please hone that passion of yours. We see all universities, even the top ones in India now, like a strong component of liberal arts. We don't want children to be multifaceted. When you're Elon Musk, you have deals to crack over business dinners as much. It's the conversation you have there that is also going to make an impact. Good to be well-rounded individuals. It's good to pursue a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of history, economics. It's good to find your imagination, your sparks, your desires.
Yes, ma'am. I think interdisciplinary learning is really important. And as you said, there's no set formula for the college application process. And that may sometimes confuse people. So how do you address the growing concern about mental health and stress among college-bound students? And what resources or strategies do you recommend?
Absolutely, Dia. Thank you for that question. I think it's very important in the world we live in, because we are expecting children to run and join the race before they even, right? So that we as counselors keep talking about mental health and wellness during the journey. I of one of my friends went to a university in India, and after that, 2 years in a university in the US, which is not top 1 or 2 tier university. Today, she's a partner at Deloitte. So the place you make it to, the university to, doesn't define your life ahead. You are the owner who's going to be the author of the remaining chapters of your life. So don't get disheartened. Think about what you learned in the process. You should still dream, but think about it. You put in your best foot forward, you put in your best application, and whatever follows, follows. That doesn't define who you are for the rest of your life. It only defines the process. Learned great skills of analysis, of writing, of research while doing your college applications. So treasure the process for strategies and resources. It's great to be working within a community. So when we have our college counseling sessions, we have a lot of students in the room. There's a little bit of humor. Somebody makes a small mistake due to which everybody cracks up. It just lightens up the whole environment. There's a little bit of fun. Down coffee for a session. Sometimes we'll have a pizza on the essays. These are just takes. You don't have to hide your essay. You don't have to hide what you're doing. Keep your project a secret to be successful. No, collaborate. You can go much further when you work together than when you work alone. I also believe that starting early is a great tool in that, because as assignment deadlines, our examinations don't stop. Start early, you have to everything in accordance with your academic schedule just as much.
Yes, ma'am, I completely agree. Also, speaking of stories of students you have worked with, highlighting their journey from college application process to their current accomplishments.
I think there are so many successful students I meet in December, and just seeing all the alumni in talking about somebody finding a place in the some working for the economy, being a coder, somebody's working with Bain or CG, or somebody's pursuing wildlife photography. All of those students in that, they were all success stories because they were all happy. I think that's what's important. Sometimes we had a student who entered college saying, I'm I hate it, and I'm going to Columbia, and I'm going to do economics. CS. Declared her major as CS in university, and today she's beautiful. Whether it's the student who goes to the management of technology program, or whether it's a student going on full scholarship to University of Chicago. A particular example is of this student of ours, an alumni school, who wrote her about when she joined school and some of her peers snicked grammatical mistakes and her language struggles. And today she's the one selected out of the entire organization of JP Morgan to be in conversation with the CEO. She's heading the alumni relations team of U Chicago, and she went there on full scholarship. But she was a student who was burning the night oil, who was sincere, and it was beautiful to parents pay off.
Yes, ma'am. I think happiness in what you do and pursuing what you actually are interested in is a really important part of college as well. But in your experience, what are some common challenges that international students face in particular during the college admission process?
I think that's primarily because being Indian, there's a lot of from children. I think that sometimes way that you could have actually spent working on research paper or your assignment or your application, but instead we actually stressing about if it doesn't happen. So that of which has students from diverse, so a lot of scholarship to some students because their application list, their colleges that they apply to does have to change. Not need blind for international students, they are need aware. The university has to change, working against the student who's had access to the best resource and you haven't done the summer programs, and it's you can understand. I know this is an obstacle, but let me use it to my advantage. Sometimes that can also the students' motivation level down. Important, all of us as peers are also very mindful when we speak to our resources.
Right. Can you please discuss the role of campus tours in helping students form decisions and how experiences?
I don't believe it because I've seen so many students who haven't visited the campus, and largely like they've all been really happy. And I choose basis on the weather, basis on the climate, making a decision basis on the philosophy, basis on the student culture, on the environment of academia, basis on the drive found on campus. And all of this is easy to deep into, your what's happening on campus, seeing videos of how students about them. Go into the campus, you have alumni who are more than happy to tell you about how the environment of the campus is. Went to Rice University, which was extremely competitive, and he came back after his first semester and said, "Ma'am, I want students because I want a window." So I think hearing these tests and hearing these experiences make a huge deal of difference. Visits by universities to schools, they add so much value to students, parents for the sessions as much. And when you actually hear the addition, share some story about what's important on their which is shared to do research itself, or an NYU that you can any book from any of the NYU libraries to the NYU campus, right? Or is it Babson, which pushes you in your own first Yale University, who drills into the students the concept of you can study history and philosophy and psychology. So in your environment, then being able to ask questions one-on-one, that's, I think, of course, if you have the opportunity to visit, you must. If you're there in the US for a summer program, but it's not economic national students to act just to visit the university.
Yes, ma'am. And I think, as you said, there are a lot of things that matter when it comes to, finding the right college for you. So, how do you guide students in terms of finding the right fit in terms of college culture, academic programs, and the campus environment?
I think both of you are better placed to tell me than at school. Keeping that aside for the benefit of the point, I think it's very important to know the student. It's very what kind of but it's not about getting into that particular university. It's about getting there, mentoring juniors there, becoming an even better and a more refined version of yourself. All that your heart desires. So I think it's very important to know the child. So knowing the child at the stage that we do. Then the second thing would be a conversation with the parents and the student. It's important to what the parents are comfortable with. That comes into play also. What the child is comfortable with. I have had a child tell me that, ma'am, I know you don't support in terms of making a college decision, but I'm really not comfortable in a cold climate. So we have which are warmer if there is a struggle like that. I know thrives better in a smaller university. Discuss that if you go to a large public university, you might get lost in, you wouldn't have that push that you require. You wouldn't very small, as opposed to certain colleges where everybody knows everybody. That would feel like home to you. There's been a student who wanted to pursue a lot of studying. So being in New York, being near. So I think it's really important to keep in mind ambition, the goal, the familial the context, to the personality, character, which would be helpful in identifying the right environment for them.
Yes, no, I completely agree with you. Give high school students what they should be doing to ensure that they find a college for their best fit.
Now, high school counselor. Number 2 is in school. I think attending school, taking farm environment, have conversations with each other. Know when you come across something that really excites you that you hadn't before, when you come across an initiative or that makes you understand this is what I love to do. I think that's very that don't be, if you think if I go for this competition and I don't win, is it going to be a waste of my time? Then you will. So don't be afraid to, and don't care about people's opinion. So actually pursuing one initiative to students and to audiences. More, act more, and in your life.
Yes, ma'am. I think stepping out of your comfort zone is also more about, gaining valuable experiences rather than just adding something to your resume.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us today. We really appreciate your invaluable expertise and profound insights that have shed light on the intricacies of the college journey. We're sure that us and everyone watching as well is now much better prepared to step into the realm of higher education.
Everyone
Yeah,
watch.
thank you, Manvi, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.